Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Barbara Cunningham, an actor whose specialist subject is the Blandings stories of PG Wodehouse. Brian Hislop, a biology teacher who will be answering questions on the American football team, the Seattle Seahawks. Laura Pierce, a money advice caseworker whose subject is the listed buildings of Liverpool. And Ian Wang, an auditor, his specialist subject, the music of Beyoncé. There were many who answered the call to join us here on Mastermind for the chance to get to know the famous black chair. And 4 of the lucky ones are here today. They're raring to go, but just how lucky are they? 2 minutes of questions on their specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge will decide. So let's ask our first contender to join us, please. Your name?
Barbara Cunningham.
And your occupation?
Actor.
And your chosen specialist subject?
The Blandings stories of PG Wodehouse.
Yeah, the series of stories set around the fictional Shropshire stately home, Blandings Castle. In 2 minutes, let's go. Lord Emsworth, who is the 9th Earl of Emsworth and the owner of Blandings Castle, has what first name?
Clarence.
Yes, in their time, both Lord Emsworth and his younger son, Freddie Threepwood, attended Eton, from where the latter was expelled for breaking out at night and roaming the streets of Windsor in a false what?
Beard.
No, moustache. What's the name of Lady Anne Warblington's Persian cat, of whom Freddie says, in Something Fresh, it came legging it up the stairs and I took the most frightful toss?
Muriel.
Yes, which book in the series, published in 1923, opens with the chapter Dark Plottings at Blandings Castle?
Leave It to Smith.
Yes, what's the first name of Freddie's American wife, who's usually known as Aggie and is the daughter of the millionaire owner of Donaldson's Dog Biscuits?
Niagara.
Yes. After a misunderstanding between Freddie and Aggie, he follows her back to London but stays in a service flat while she has a suite in what luxury hotel?
The Savoy.
Yes, in Summer Lightning, what's the name of the nightclub that has proved a financial failure for Hugo Carmody and Ronnie Fish, despite being situated just off Bond Street in the heart of London's pleasure-seeking area?
The Hot Spot.
Yes, what's the name of the first of Lord Emsworth's succession of secretaries who sometimes relaxed his busy brain with a game of solitaire and is frequently referred to by the epithet efficient?
Rupert Baxter.
Yes, in Sticky Wicket at Blandings, what breed is the dog belonging to Freddie's wife Aggie, which Freddie gives to Valerie Fanshawe to secure an order for dog biscuits from her father?
Alsatian.
Yes, as mentioned in Lord Emsworth and the Girlfriend, the Blandings Parva School treat takes place annually on the first Monday of which month?
August.
Yes, in The Crime Wave at Blandings, when Lord Emsworth's sister, Lady Constance, tells him that their nephew George has shot Rupert Baxter with an air gun, Emsworth exclaims, "Good," then prudently adds what word?
Heavens.
No, gracious. In Summer Lightning, Ronnie Fish pretends to Lady Constance that the chorus girl Sue Brown is the American Myra Schoonmaker, whom he'd met at what French resort?
Biarritz.
Yes, that's Biarritz. And Barbara, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've scored 10 points. And our next contender, please. And your name?
Brian Hislop.
Your occupation?
Biology teacher.
And your specialist subjects?
Seattle Seahawks.
The American football franchise that first competed in the NFL in 1976. In 2 minutes, starting now. From the Seahawks' first season until the end of the 1999 NFL season, they played their home games at which stadium?
The Kingdom.
Yes, in 1997, which co-founder of the company Microsoft purchased the franchise from the previous owner, Ken Behring, who was trying to relocate the team to Los Angeles?
Paul Allen.
Yes, during their first season in 1976, the Seahawks won only 2 games, the first of these being in October against which side?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, Sean Alexander, who was drafted by the team in 2000 and won the NFL Most Valuable Player Award in 2005, played for the Seahawks in which position?
Running back.
Yes, the Hall of Fame wide receiver Steve Largent was given what film-inspired nickname, supposedly because he was small, wise, and a master of the game of football?
Yoda.
Yes, during the 2006 NFL offseason, the Seahawks lost one of their left guards, Steve Hutchinson, when he joined which other franchise?
Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, which player caught the infamous last-minute pass that became known as the Fail Mary and which gave the Seahawks a shock Monday Night Football win against the Green Bay Packers in 2012?
Golden Tate.
Yes, what's the name of the offensive lineman described by the Seahawks coach Jack Patera as the worst player he'd ever seen, whom the Seahawks traded to Miami in 1981, just a year after they drafted him?
Andre Hines.
Yes, in the second round of the 2012 NFL draft, the Seahawks selected the linebacker Bobby Wagner, who'd played college football for a university in which U.S. state?
Utah.
Yes, in 2018, the Seahawks drafted which linebacker out of the University of Central Florida who'd been born with amniotic band syndrome and had had his hand amputated at the age of 4?
Shaquem Griffin.
Yes, after the death of his father, which Seahawks player of the 1980s began hosting an annual golf tournament, which has raised more than $1 million for the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in Seattle?
Jacob Green.
Yes, in the last minutes of the 2013 NFC Championship game, the linebacker Malcolm Smith intercepted a pass from which San Francisco 49ers quarterback?
Colin Kaepernick.
Yes, after the 1991 season, I've started, so I'll finish. The long-time coach, Chuck Knox, left the Seahawks and was succeeded by which other coach who'd led the Raiders to 2 Super Bowl victories in the 1980s?
Tom Flores.
Yes, it was Tom Flores. Brian, you got them all right. And at the end of that round, you've got 13 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Laura Pierce.
And your occupation?
Money advice caseworker.
And your chosen specialist subject?
Listed buildings of Liverpool.
The 29 Grade 1 listed buildings in Liverpool. In 2 minutes, let's go. Which building in School Lane, constructed as a charity school in 1717 and restored in 1951, is believed to be the oldest surviving building in Liverpool city centre?
Bluecoat Chambers.
Yes. A Latin motto, usually translated as "for arts, laws and councils," is inscribed over the portico of which neoclassical building opposite Lime Street Station?
St George's Hall.
Yes. Which architect designed the Liverpool branch of the Bank of England in Castle Street, which was completed by 1848?
Charles Cockerell.
Yes. In 1873, the local architect and historian James Picton described which complex of Liverpool buildings completed about 25 years earlier as simply a hideous pile of naked brickwork?
The Albert Dock.
Yes, which medieval church has a Salisbury chapel and a Plum chapel, both of which were added in the 18th century?
All Hallows.
No, it's All Saints Church. When Giles Gilbert Scott won the 1903 competition to design Liverpool's Anglican Cathedral, he was initially required to work jointly with which Gothic revivalist architect who'd been one of the competition's assessors?
George Bodley.
Yes, the ornately decorated Philharmonic dining rooms, whose listing cites it as the pinnacle of the gin palace form of pub, was designed by Walter Thomas for which local brewer?
Robert Kane.
Yes. What builder and ironmaster worked with the architect Thomas Rickman on St George's Church in Everton, sometimes called the cast iron church because of the material used in its construction?
John Cragg.
Yes, the oratory in Upper Duke Street, a Greek Doric temple that was restored in 1981, was previously the mortuary chapel of which church cemetery?
St James.
Yes. What was the surname of the Catholic family who were the builders and first occupants of Speke Hall?
Norris.
Yes. What was the name of the German-born woodcarver who designed the famous copper sculptures of the mythical liver birds that were erected on top of the Royal Liver Building and are popularly known as Bella and Bertie?
Bartels.
Yes. Alfred Norbury of Liverpool carved the pulpit, the bema, and what other sacred object for the Prince's Road Synagogue?
Ner Tamid.
No, it was the Ark. And Laura, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've scored 10 points.
Thank you.
And now, our final contender, please. Your name?
Ian Wang,
And your occupation?
auditor.
And your specialist subject?
The music of Beyoncé.
The American singer and actress who rose to fame in the late 1990s as the lead singer of Destiny's Child. in 2 minutes, starting now. What's the title of Beyoncé's debut solo album, which featured the UK hit singles Baby Boy, Me, Myself and I, and Naughty Girl?
Dangerously in Love.
Yes, Beyoncé's first UK chart topper was the Destiny's Child song Independent Women Part 1. The song received a Grammy nomination as the lead single in what film released in 2000?
Charlie's Angels.
Yes, which song on Beyoncé's album I Am, Sasha Fierce, includes the lyrics, since 15 in my stilettos, been strutting in this game?
Diva.
Yes, which acclaimed songwriter wrote the reflective R&B ballad I Was Here on the Beyoncé album entitled 4?
Diane Warren.
Yes, Beyoncé and Shakira had an international hit single with the song Beautiful Liar. What's the title of the version of the song recorded entirely in Spanish by Beyoncé without Shakira?
Bello Embustro.
Yes, Bello Embustero. The Destiny's Child song Bootylicious has a video that begins with which musician playing her own sampled guitar riff?
Stevie Nicks.
Yes, what Beyoncé song about a woman breaking up with her partner includes the lines, baby, drop them keys, hurry up before your taxi leaves?
Irreplaceable.
Yes, Homecoming, subtitled A Film by Beyoncé, is a concert film about the singer's 2018 performance at which music and arts festival?
Coachella.
Yes, which track from the 2016 Beyoncé album Lemonade prominently samples the instrumental introduction from the Andy Williams song Can't Get Used to Losing You?
Hold Up.
Yes, when Beyoncé headlined the Super Bowl halftime show in 2013, which guitarist performed a pyrotechnic guitar solo during the song Crazy in Love?
Santana.
No, B.B. McGill. A much slower recording of Beyoncé's earlier hit, Crazy in Love, and a remix of Haunted were featured on the soundtrack of what 2015 film?
50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, the much-imitated dancing in Beyoncé's Single Ladies video was inspired by a 1969 routine on The Ed Sullivan Show by the choreographer Bob Fosse, featuring his wife, the dancer Gwen Verdon. What's the name of the original Fosse routine?
Mexican Breakfast.
Yes, on which track from her second solo album, B-Day, does Beyoncé sing, I can do for you what Martin did for the people?
It's, Upgrade You.
It is Upgrade You. And Ian, you had no passes either. And at the end of that round, you've got 12 points. And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. Pretty high. In joint third place with 10 points each, Barbara and Laura. In second place with 12 points, it's Ian. And in first place with 13 points comes Brian. So now the general knowledge round, and if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Barbara to join us again, please. So, Barbara, you start with 10 points. You've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Here we go. In painting, shades of purple are produced by adding red to what other primary colour?
Blue.
Yes, the two cuspid teeth in each jaw, sometimes informally called the eye teeth or fangs, are commonly known by what name from the Latin for dog?
Canine.
Yes, which famous American actress earned 11 Best Actress Oscar nominations, winning twice, first for the 1935 romantic drama Dangerous, and secondly for the 1938 film Jezebel?
Catherine Hepburn.
No, Betty Davis. Glienicke Bridge, which became famous for spy swaps during the Cold War, giving rise to the nickname Bridge of Spies, links Potsdam with which other German city?
Berlin.
Yes, what term refers to an instruction added to a will after its main provisions have been written?
Codicil.
Yes, in February 2021, which member of the British royal family gave birth to her first child, a son named August Philip Hawke Brooksbank?
Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother.
No, Princess Eugenie. When Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006, which planet replaced it as the smallest in our solar system?
Mercury.
Yes, the inaugural British Empire Games, now known as the Commonwealth Games, were held in 1930 in which Canadian city on the western shore of Lake Ontario?
Ottawa.
No, Hamilton. What word derived from French refers to an alcoholic drink taken before a meal to stimulate the appetite?
Aperitif.
Yes, what name is given to the 6,000-mile trek begun in 1934 by Chinese Communist forces led by Zhu Dai and then taken over by Mao Zedong in January 1935?
The Great Journey.
No, The Long March. Between 2007 and 2012, which singer had UK #1 albums entitled Good Girl Gone Bad, Talk That Talk and Unapologetic?
Beyoncé.
No, Rihanna. Which American poet, whose name is often styled entirely in lowercase letters, was born in Massachusetts in 1894 and is known for his unconventional use of punctuation and syntax in works such as I Carry Your Heart With Me.
E.E. Cummings.
Yes, which Australian television soap that began in 1988 is set in the fictional resort of Summer Bay?
Neighbours.
No, Home and Away. Chinos are a type of what garment?
Trousers.
Yes, a person who introduces performers at an entertainment event is often referred to by the abbreviation MC, which, in this context, stands for what?
Master of Ceremonies.
Yes, which environmental organisation owned the ship Rainbow Warrior, which sank in Auckland Harbour in 1985 after a bombing operation by French secret agents?
Greenpeace.
Yes, what specific name is given to the first full moon, I've started so I'll finish, that follows a harvest moon and usually appears in the northern hemisphere in October?
A neap moon.
No, it's a hunter's moon. And Barbara, you had no passes. Again, and at the end of that round, you now have a total of 20 points.
Thank you.
And next up, let's have Laura again, please. So, Laura, you start with 10 points, the score to beat. As it stands at the moment, that's 20 points, and you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. On an employee's payslip, the letters NI stand for the name of what deduction?
National insurance.
Yes, what Turkish word for mountain is the name of the peninsula of southeastern Europe, which includes Bulgaria, Albania, and the former Yugoslav republics?
Appalachians.
No, the Balkan Peninsula. In 1863, which future British king, then the Prince of Wales, married Princess Alexandra of Denmark?
Edward VII.
Yes, in films released between 2011 and 2019, which American actor played the character Steve Rogers, also known as Captain America?
Ryan Reynolds.
No, Chris Evans. What title, meaning miraculous sign of God, is given to an Iranian Shiite religious leader?
Guru.
No, Ayatollah. Which British fashion designer who was made Dame in 2006 was the subject of a 2018 film documentary with the subtitle Punk Icon Activist?
Vivienne Westwood.
Yes. Which old unit of distance roughly equal to 3 miles on land is mentioned in the title of an 1870 novel by Jules Verne?
League.
Yes. Animals that spend the winter in a dormant state are said to hibernate. What corresponding word is applied to creatures that are dormant in the summer?
Diurnal.
No, estivate. Which cowardly Great Dane was the title character of a Hanna-Barbera cartoon series in which 4 young amateur detectives investigated supernatural mysteries, episodes often ending with the villain's declaration that they'd have got away with it if it hadn't been for those meddling kids?
Scooby-Doo.
Yes. Which American city is home to the NBA basketball team called the Pistons and a professional ice hockey franchise named the Red Wings?
Boston.
No, Detroit. The name of which ship that docked at Tilbury in June 1948, having sailed from Jamaica, has become synonymous with the generation of migrants from the Caribbean who arrived in Britain after the Second World War?
Windrush.
Yes, Empire Windrush. Susanna Hoffs was the lead vocalist of which pop group formed in Los Angeles in 1981?
The Bangles.
Yes, Lady Chatterley, the central character in a famously controversial novel by D.H. Lawrence, has what first name?
Lavinia.
No, Constance. In July 2019, Gavin Williamson was appointed as the Secretary of State for which UK government department?
Education.
Yes. The name of what London street is the title of a song from the musical Me and My Girl, which in turn inspired a dance of the same name that became popular in the late 1930s?
Charleston.
No, the Lambeth Walk. It's thought that the ancient Greeks voted by placing pebbles in urns. What English word that means the study of elections and voting patterns is derived from the Greek word for pebble?
Diktat.
No, it's psephology. And Laura, you had no passes either. And at the end of that round, you now have a total of 18 points.
Thank you.
And let's have Ian. So, Ian, you start with 12 points. The score to beat as it stands is 20 points. You've got 2.5 minutes of general knowledge. Starting now. The instinctive response to danger, which readies a human or animal either to defend itself or to run away, is expressed as fight or...
Flight.
Yes. What spirit is the alcoholic ingredient of a classic Bloody Mary cocktail?
Vodka?
Yes, the song entitled Vincent, also known by its opening lyric, Starry, Starry Night, is a tribute to the artist Vincent van Gogh and was a UK #1 single in 1972 for which singer?
Don McLean.
Yes. During the Cold War, the acronym MAD, when applied to the use of nuclear weapons, stood for Mutually Assured what?
Destruction.
Yes, which novella by Ian McEwan was shortlisted for the 2007 Booker Prize and was adapted into a 2017 film of the same name starring Saoirse Ronan.
On Chesil Beach.
Yes, in rugby union, each team is allowed how many players on the pitch at any one time?
6.
No, it's 15. The village of Alloway, just outside Ayr, is home to a museum dedicated to which Scottish poet who was born in a cottage there in 1759?
Robert Burns.
Yes, on her marriage to King Hussein of Jordan in 1978, the American-born architect Lisa Halaby adopted what first name? The Arabic for light.
Fatima.
No, Nur. What word for a gentle wind is used to refer to slow-moving air currents that measure from 2 to 6 on the Beaufort scale?
Breeze.
Yes. In what 2014 film did J.K. Simmons win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his performance as the abusive and bullying music tutor of an ambitious jazz drummer played by Miles Teller?
Whiplash.
Yes. What term for a piece of meat consisting of the hind leg and loin of an animal is commonly used to refer to a joint of venison?
Rump.
No, haunch. The Drakensberg mountain range, which rises to more than 11,000 feet, is in the south of which continent?
South America.
No, Africa. Although it was originally named in the late 19th century, which dinosaur was considered to be the same genus as Apatosaurus until a 2015 study revealed distinct differences between them both?
Brontosaurus.
Yes, what French word is used in English for a meeting at which people attempt to make contact with the dead, usually with the help of a medium?
Seance.
Yes, what's the name of the warrior princess played by Lucy Lawless in the fantasy television series first shown in 1995?
Xena.
Yes, which song, popular with both German and Allied troops during the Second World War, tells of a sentry's love for his absent sweetheart, whom he used to meet in the lamplight?
A Nightingale Song about this one.
No, Lily Marlene. In 18th century Britain, which political party, a predecessor to the Liberals, was the main rival of the Tory party?
Whigs.
Yes, as well as painting, I've started so I'll finish, as well as painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo also painted a fresco on the chapel wall behind the altar depicting the second coming of Christ. What's the title of this fresco?
Son of Man.
No, The Last Judgment. The Last Judgment. You had no passes either, Ian. And at the end of that round, you have a total of 24 points. And finally, let's have Brian again, please. So, Brian, you start with 13 points, the score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Ian's 24 points, and you've now got 2.5 minutes of general knowledge. Let's go. In a standard pack of playing cards, the letter Q on a court card or picture card indicates what rank?
Queen.
Yes. Which European country has the International Vehicle Registration Code NL?
The Netherlands.
Yes. What popular name for the American holiday, sometimes called Emancipation Day, blends the month and date on which it annually commemorates the end of slavery?
Labour Day.
No, Juneteenth. Which future television cook baked the cake that appears on the front cover of the 1969 Rolling Stones album, Let It Bleed?
Fanny Craddock.
No, Delia Smith. In a parliamentary by-election in May 2021, the Conservative candidate, Jill Mortimer, won which constituency in the northeast of England that had previously returned a Labour MP since its creation in 1974?
Hartlepool.
Yes, which American linguist and political commentator put forward his theories about language in the influential 1957 work Syntactic Structures?
Kissinger.
No, Noam Chomsky. What pigment that gives plants their colour and is involved in the absorption of light through photosynthesis has a name derived from Greek words for green and leaf?
Chlorophyll.
Yes, in February 2021, which tennis player won the men's singles final at the Australian Open for the 9th time?
Novak Djokovic.
Yes, which element has the chemical symbol Ca and gets its name from the Latin for lime?
Calcium.
Yes, the Mackinac Bridge spans the meeting point of two of the North American Great Lakes and connects the Upper Peninsula to the lower part of which Midwest US state?
Wisconsin.
No, Michigan. The term Paschal refers to which festival in the Christian calendar?
Christmas.
No, Easter. Which actor received an Oscar nomination for Best Actor for his depiction of the writer J.M. Barrie in the 2004 film Finding Neverland?
Brad Pitt.
No, Johnny Depp. Until his assassination in 1828, the military leader Shaka ruled which kingdom in southern Africa?
Swaziland.
No, the Zulu kingdom. Israel Hands, Squire Trelawney and Captain Smollett are characters who sail from England in the Hispaniola in what 1883 novel by Rupert Louis Stevenson?
Treasure Island.
Yes, the Netflix television series Cobra Kai, starring Ralph Macchio, is a sequel to which 1980s film franchise?
Karate Kid.
Yes, what's the German name of the city known in French as Aix-la-Chapelle, where the Holy Roman Emperor Charlemagne founded a cathedral that became the site of coronation for German kings?
Cologne.
No, Aachen. What type of skirt, made of several layers of fabric of start to sew finish and worn by ballerinas, has styles called the romantic and the shorter classical?
Tutu.
Yes, it's a tutu. And Brian, you didn't have any passes either. And at the end of that round, you now have a total of 22 points. So, let's have a look at the final scores. In fourth place with 18 points is Laura. In third place with 20 points, Barbara. In second place with 22 points, it's Brian. And in first place with 24 points, it's Ian, which means that he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. Now, if you would like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us, of course, at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Coming into the studio, I think, very nervous, but I think once you're actually in the chair and you hear kind of Clive Myrie's soothing tones.
What spirit is the alcoholic ingredient of a classic Bloody Mary cocktail?
You're actually in the zone. I think everything else kind of just disappears and you're completely focused on the questions. Vodka?
Yes.
A seance?
Yes.
Wigs?
Yes.
Becoming a Mastermind champion would be incredible. I mean, so many incredible quizzes of taking home that glass bowl, and it would be a real privilege to be one of those people. But I'm also just happy to have been here and to have won this first match.